Hey WILDR folks, Alicia here. This is actually our strength workout number 1 from our free Couch to Summit Hike Ready program. So if you are getting back into exercise, or if this is your first time getting fit for something like a hike, then you should definitely download that program below. Again, 100% free. And if you're looking to level up and this workout feels too easy for you, we've also got some other online programs that might really help you get ready for the best adventures of your life. So without further ado, let's get into this beginner level program. Again, I'm gonna say this once and throughout the program, make sure that you're picking a level that's appropriate for you. We want productive pain, so the pain of muscles working, our heart rate increasing a little bit, our breathing rate increasing a little bit. It is your job at home to make this suitable to your current level of fitness. All right, that being said, let's get started. For today's workout, you're gonna need some sort of raised surface. Now I've got a box. You could use the bottom stair on a set of stairs. You could use a really thick book. You could use a kitchen chair as long as it feels safe for you. You're also gonna need something to prop up your heel. I'm going to use a rolled up cloth. You could also use the edge of a piece of furniture, something like that, to prop your heel up. And you're gonna need your stuff today. Now we are gonna start the first part of this hip warm-up assuming you have spent 5 minutes doing easy aerobic activity. And that means easy for you. I was out in the yard picking up some sticks that we need to clean up for spring. And that was my 5 minutes of movement. For you, that could be a gentle walk or any kind of gentle movement that helps you get in touch with your body and see how it feels today while gently raising your heart rate. So assuming that that is all finished, let's hop into our first warm-up. We're gonna get our hips warm and ready for activity. So you're gonna need a wall or some sort of firm surface for this. I'm gonna use the wall right here. And we're gonna go 1 step, 2 steps away, plant that foot, and then bend your knee 90 at the knee and extend your hips here to start off with. So first thing we're gonna do is balance in this position. Nice job. Then we're actually gonna do hip dips. So drop this hip down towards the ground and then just back up to level. And we're gonna do that 10 times. And while you do this, you're gonna notice that your standing leg does not move. It's only this hip that's dropping down and then coming back up. You're gonna feel a burn in your glutes on the standing side. And you might also feel all the muscles of your leg working to keep you balanced. We're gonna finish up 10 of those. And now I want you to push into the wall behind you 10 times. So this is a really small movement, but you're actually gonna see your hips extend lightly, and you're gonna have your glutes or your butt on both sides become active here. My hips are actually extending. I'll insert video from the side here for you. And now we're gonna finish up with 10 hip hinges. So hinging back and then coming forward by pushing that back foot strong into the wall. Front foot, toes are spread, chest is tall, and you'll notice that my back isn't curling. It's actually staying proud and slightly extended as I do this movement, just to really get the muscles of the hips working as opposed to any muscles in your back. 10 of those. And we're gonna shake it out, and we're gonna start side number 2. So again, put one foot up against the wall or your surface, your other foot is then gonna plant, and we will bend the knee, put that foot against the wall, press through it gently, and now we're gonna drop that hip and come up just to neutral. If someone wants to watch just a video of my standing leg, they would think that I wasn't doing anything at all here. This tiny movement is gonna help us stabilize our pelvis as we're walking on uneven ground, which is mainly what you're doing when you're hiking. All right, after 10 of those, let's push into the wall behind us 10 times. My standing leg and my bent leg should both have that good muscle burn happening. And focusing on where you want to feel an exercise actually typically means you get more activation of that muscle, which is what we're looking for here. Right through to 10. Last last one. And hinging forward and then up 10 times. Both hip bones point straight forward for this, so I'm not rotating at all. I am simply hinging over and pushing forward. Good, and we're gonna shake it out here, and we're gonna start part 2 of our warm-up, and that is going to be clock squats. We're actually going to be doing 30 seconds per side, and we're gonna go through that twice, so 2 minutes total. Grab the clock here, and let's get you started and going. So I want you to balance on one foot. And if this is your starting point for today, that's awesome, but if you're feeling like you're ready to amp it up a little bit, I want you to reach straight forward as if you're touching the 12 on a clock. Then you're gonna touch the 2, the 3, the 5, the 6. Now we get to cross across the back. I'm just gonna move so you can see me here. And come back up to center. Awesome, we're gonna try our second side now. Planting our foot, or reaching straight ahead to start off with, and then out to the side. Now, remember, clear the way for me a little bit. We don't want to be touching and then unweighting. I want you to touch with your floating foot as if you are poking a hibernating bear. So the lightest of touches to the ground here, we are not unweighting. Let's switch back to our first side. The balanced foot, the toes are spread wide, the knees going over the second toe. And as you get warm with this, you can increase how far you're reaching to increase the depth of that squat. 10 seconds left on this side. You have to stick your arms up for balance, that's awesome. And let's switch to our second set on our second side. All right, going forward first, to the side, straight out, back. These are great exercises to include even if you're just, let's say, in your kitchen waiting for water to boil, sneaking in a little bonus balance training, little bonus strength training. 5 seconds left, get a couple more touches in. Good, all right. Shake it out. I think we are complete with our lower body warm-up and ready to go into our first exercise. All right, so our first combination of exercises is going to be an 8 to 12 minute alternating EMOM. And all that means is in minute 1, we're gonna do one exercise. In minute 2, we're gonna do a second exercise. And then we're gonna alternate back and forth until we get to either 8 minutes or 12 minutes, depending on how strong you're feeling today. So start at the beginning with just doing the 8 minutes and always listen to your body on this one. But let's introduce you to the 2 exercises. You can try them with me now before we begin our round. So exercise 1 is just gonna be an in-place lunge. All you're gonna do is take your feet about 3 steps apart, and then you're gonna take your hips straight down towards the floor in between those 2 feet, as low as you feel comfortable with before returning to standing. So if you want to go all the way to the floor, you certainly can. As you're going down, I want you to think about tucking your pelvis slightly. So we want to be here as we go down and up, and we don't want to be doing this with our body. So instead of sticking your butt out, I want you instead to tuck your tail under, pull that belly button to your spine, and move down and up. If you experience knee pain through this exercise, there's a couple things you can do. The first is to reduce your range of motion, only go as deep as works for you. You can also play with your angles a little bit. So you'll notice when I'm lunging right now, my knee is coming forward towards my toe, but I can play with that. So I can have my shin more vertical. That's gonna put more compression through the knee. I can let my knee come farther forward. That's gonna be more of our shearing force. So play with how you're doing them. Make sure that the way you're completing them does not cause knee pain. Exercise number 2 is a glute bridge walkout. I'll insert some video here of a close-up of it. But essentially we're gonna be getting onto the floor, hips towards the sky. We're gonna start by squeezing in this position to really use our glutes again. Word of the day. And to have a straight line from our shoulders to our knees. If that feels easy peasy, we can start actually walking our heels out a little bit. This is gonna increase how much hamstring recruitment we need to make this movement happen. Now, as we do this, we want our glutes to stay squeezed so we still have a relatively straight line from knees to shoulders. We don't wanna be here. Do you see how the dropped hip means that I'm no longer using my glutes? I wanna squeeze so my glutes are tall. So level 1 of this is going to be staying in this position. Level 2 is going to be walking those feet out little by little, and then bringing them back in. In between these exercises, we are going to complete some mandatory rest. Rest is just as important to progress as doing the activity is. So remember that when you're doing this workout. All right, get your space ready, and let's begin. So we're gonna start with 6 to 8 lunges. Remember, find that setup that works really well for you. Drop that knee towards the ground, whatever depth works best for you. And I will say, while you're completing these, if you feel nervous about your balance, you can certainly put a hand against a wall here. You can also walk your feet farther apart this way to increase your basic support. If you feel a stretch through here, that's completely normal. And 8, let's shake it out. Now it's just one side per round. So this is our mandatory rest. We've got 20 seconds of mandatory rest here. If you want, you can start getting ready for those glute bridge walkouts. That's what I'm gonna do. So get down onto the ground. Plus, this is an awesome resting position to be lying down. All right, we're gonna start our glute bridge walkouts in 3, 2, 1, lifting those hips towards the ceiling. And if this is where you're gonna stay today, focus here. Really squeeze your glutes quite hard. Belly button is also pulling towards your back. And that's gonna create this amazing strong torso that is gonna help us so much when we're out on the trails. From there, we can, if we're feeling good, take small steps out. But if we lose our core engagement or we lose our glute engagement, we know we've gone too far. And we can start walking it back in here. You can put elbows down if you want additional support, or float them up here if you want to make things tough. But make sure you're able to stay solid. Bring our heels or butt down. And we're going to take 20 more seconds of mandatory rest. Now, I should have told you this before and I didn't, but try and remember which leg you started on, because we're going to alternate here. So whichever leg was ahead before, we're going to go other leg ahead now. And let's go into those lunges again. Sinking down, coming up strong. When we're doing exercises, we can play with how fast or slow we do a movement to work on different kind of components of our fitness. We're working on strength here. So I want you to be slow and controlled. If I said freeze at any point of the movement, I want you to be able to just freeze right where you were. And we can time our breath. So breathe in on the way down and breathe out on the way up. 3 more. And last one. Good. We're gonna take that rest now. Right, I'm going down to the ground for sure. All right, hips are gonna go high in 3, 2, 1. Bring those hips up, squeeze and squeeze. And if you're feeling ready, hands can come up. And if you're feeling even still more ready, you can walk those heels out nice and slow, squeezing the glutes and squeezing the core to increase how much hamstring we've got involved here. If you're doing that, you can start walking them back in to your start position, holding for 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Come on down, rest and relax. Just like that, if you are doing 8 minutes today, we're already halfway through. So we are gonna go back to side number 1 here. And we are gonna go in 10 seconds, our second set on our first side. If you're feeling like you're breezing through these, slow down your reps this time. 3, 2, 1, go. We do lunges like this in our full 8-week program as well, but we actually add some added weight. So if my clients have dumbbells at home, we'll use dumbbells. If they don't, we get super creative. Like I've had clients use their cast iron pans before. That's a great way to add some weight. Chicken buckets, whatever you have around the place that you want to use. Good, I'm 4 reps in. I've got 4 reps left. Remembering to tighten the core, stay tall and proud through this torso, and head down with my hips, straight down, not back or forward. Good, I'll shake it out. All right, I'm gonna come down to the ground again. 15 seconds rest here before we do our glute bridges. You really learn to love the rest portion, I swear. 3, 2, 1, coming up into that glute bridge. If that's feeling great, stay there. Try and spread your toes wide. Press your big toe into the ground. That can actually help you recruit your glutes, which is kind of neat. And if you need to check, you can always put your hands on your butt and make sure that you do have those muscles working. If you want to, you can walk this one out. Remember, hips stay nice and stable. And I start to feel my hamstrings working. Good, we've got 3 seconds left here. 2, 1, and come on down. All right, mandatory rest in progress. We're gonna start again in 15 seconds. This is your final set that we're heading into already, which is amazing. And you wanna be on your second side for this one. All right, 10 seconds until we get rocking and rolling. Getting that solid setup. Tucking the pelvis over. And let's lunge. 6 to 8 of these. Timing your breath. And last one for me this round. Good. If it takes you a little longer to do your lunges, that is a-okay. But now we get to do our mandatory rest before our final set of glute bridges. So sad. Now, if you are gonna do 12 minutes of this, you found that so far it's felt quite easy, then I want you to either rewind 4 minutes, you can do the last 4 minutes together again, or just pause this video and do 1 more set per side. All right, we're gonna go into our glute bridge in 3, 2, and 1, lifting those hips up towards the sky. Rib cage pulls down, it doesn't pop up. You might feel a gentle stretch across the front of your hips, that's a-okay. Number 1 thing we want to feel is those hips working, glutes working, and of course we can do those walkouts if we are rocking it today and we want a bit more of a challenge. 3, 2, 1, come on down. All right, that is the end of that combo. Again, if you're gonna do an extra 4 minutes, just do an extra 2 sets, 1 per side. Let's move on to our next portion. The next portion of today, we are going to be doing some P step downs and some side planks. So for our P step downs, this is where you need that raised surface or step. If you're a beginner, you could actually do these right against the ground as well. Let's show you what they look like, and then we'll talk about the time that we're doing today. So you want your raised surface, and then you want something to raise that heel up just a touch. Get out of here, Matt. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is standing on my raised surface, and I'm going to have my heel lifted. Now, if balance is something that I struggle with, I want to make sure I have something to hold on to. But this raised position is going to be biasing something called your VMO, which is just the quad muscle that's right here and really helps us support our knees while we're hiking. So from this position, we're gonna reach down and come up. So we're only gonna go as low as we feel comfortable. And to target the VMO, we only need the first little bit of this movement. But if you haven't worked these before, just focus on tracking your knee over your second toe here, and don't worry too much about depth. We're gonna be combining these today with a side plank or a Copenhagen side plank, which is quite difficult, so there's something for everyone here today. For our side plank, our starting level is gonna be on our knees and our elbow, and we are going to simply lift up so we have a straight line from our head through to our knees. We should feel some action happening here and here to keep us stable. You're also going to want to squeeze your glutes again, and imagine that there's kind of a piece of glass right in front of you and right behind you. So we don't want to be rotated like this. We want to show both of our shoulders in front of us. Now, if that's too easy, first things first, you can go onto your feet like so. And if that's too easy, that's when we get our chair or our raised surface again. And we go into a Copenhagen side plank. So on our arm, we go knee close to the raised surface, and then we hold the position here. Again, piece of glass in front of me, piece behind me as well. All right, the time set up for this one is that same alternating elon, and we're gonna be doing it just for 6 minutes, which ends up being 3 sets total. So let's get started with those P step downs. And we're gonna be doing 6 to 8 per side here. So elevate that heel, find your balance. Let's reach down and up. Hands can go out for extra balance. Going as deep as you feel comfortable, but remember the first 15 degrees are the most important. Feeling some work happening here, and we know we're doing it right. Once we've done 6 to 8, we can hop onto our second side. Remember, heel elevated, core tight. Using a wall or something for balance if we need to, or hands out to the side. And 6, you might feel your glutes too, since we just did a fair bit of glute work. All right, in 10 seconds, we're gonna start our side plank or Copenhagen. 3, 2, and 1. 8 to 12 of these. So as the Copenhagen, I'm just dropping down and coming up. If this was your side plank, remember knees are on the ground. Same 2 planes of glass type setup. And I'm dropping towards the ground and then lifting up. Good. And we want to go on to second side, getting our 8 to 12 complete. Awesome. Then coming down and taking that wonderful rest for about 10 seconds. All right, getting back up onto our raised surface. Now, if you feel like you need more rest, you certainly can pause this video, pause that timer and take it, particularly as we're starting out. We want to focus on the quality of each rep. So focus on that above doing it within the specified time. All right, onto our second side. A little bit of a knee wobble is fine. As we get better at these, that knee wobble will disappear. Good stuff. All right, down to the ground to rest. For our second set, I'm going to be doing our side plank. And we're starting up in 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Good, so coming up into that side plank position, squeeze the butt, then drop down towards the ground and come up again. Small movement here. I really want you to feel your core and your hips moving. If you feel like your knees are sliding, then try changing up the surface that you're on, or you could even try doing that full side plank with your feet up against the wall. Good, coming onto our second side. Dropping down and coming back up. Remember, we've got 8 to 12 of these. And doing more reps doesn't mean that's better. We want to meet ourselves where we're at today. Sweet. All right, coming on up. Got about 10 seconds of rest before our final set of these of the day. Starting in 3, 2, and 1. Heel elevated, dropping down and coming up, nice and strong. Now for these, remember we are working on strength, so we don't need to do them crazy fast. I'd rather you be able to freeze at any moment than do these with power. Now, as the 4 weeks progress through this program, you might find that you want to add a little bit of weight, or that you want to play with your speed, going down slow and coming up with power. Good, 6 to 8 of these. Awesome, then we can come down to the ground, get ready for our final side planks. Now, research has found that the best way to stick with the program is to have an end goal, have a peer, and have a pro. All right, let's go up into our side planks. So, I volunteer as your pro. You can get a friend to do this workout with you and set a scheduled time to come out together. That is gonna help you stick with it, even on the days where it's not convenient to get a workout in. Okay, let's go on to our second side. Remember, 8 to 12 on this. Good, and relax. All right, I hope you found that challenging but not overwhelming. The last part of today is a hip cool down, a mobility session that's gonna help you maintain length through all the muscles that we built strength in today. And I'm gonna link to that in the description below. If you haven't yet, download the free PDF that gives you all of the workout details. So not only what days to do this on, but what days to do our other strength training on, and guide your cardio so that you are ready to go from couch to summit. All right, I hope you have a wilder day. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll talk to you guys soon.